Alrighty guys, welcome back. We are watching ReZero Season 1, Episode 6. Last time, Subaru died. I know, that's pretty new, isn't it? Last time, he is in another loop, yet again, of dying. And, I don't know. Go listen to my last discussion, as always, for my thoughts. I don't know why I feel the need to, partially rehash what happened when I just talked. I don't know. Who cares? Let's get into this. We're watching episode 6. You can sync up your own copy with this if you want to. We will be starting in 3, 2, 1. Seems about right. I guess that is kind of his most violent and disturbing death. At least, when he was brutally murdered the first couple times. He just kind of bled out, Man, this is gonna be rough. Yeah. Not the best first impression. Oh, man, it's gonna be rough, isn't it? It would just drive you crazy in Subaru's shoes, Having to reintroduce yourself to these same people over and over and over again. It makes me think, with the situation he's in, there's the stuff more so, there's the stuff that they more so in, the first couple episodes was really prevalent about him acting like the whole situation he's in is like a video game or like an anime, and he's the protagonist, Everyone else is like an NPC, He hasn't really been treating people like that, but not really, at least. But through this type of experience, going through this type of looping thing over and over again, it would be really easy to, start treating people like that. Start seeing people as less real, I hate to bring up this comparison because it sounds stupid, but Undertale spoilers, if you don't know, I don't know. In Undertale, there's Flowey, who, frankly, is in a very similar situation to not Keiichi, that's Higurashi, to Subaru, with the whole looping thing. When you die, it resets, And Flowey in that game, obviously, it was very meta in that game. He did view all the characters as NPCs, And I'm just saying, Subaru could easily reach that same point, Man, I wonder if anyone else has ever done that before. Compared this to Undertale, maybe. Feels very silly. Yeah, obviously, he hasn't seen, that conversation Rosewall and Ram had, or Ram? Mm-hmm. It is real, yeah. He's never gonna think that it's them killing him because they're suspicious of him. I mean, it's not that he's never going to think that, but right now, he's not going to. Anyway, what is he doing? He's walking in circles. No, you don't know her. Yeah, it's going to be rough. Just emotionally dealing with it. That was great. That was fantastic. I think she does. Yeah. Man, her eyes are weird. Oh, I'm worried that it's just going to make him even more suspicious, to Rosewall and everyone. Well, yeah, come on. It's fantastic. Great. You're going to have to fix those later. I don't know if he fell that far. Wow, he's really Yeah, another great first impression. Perfect. Thank God. Yeah, normal. Is it? I guess. Hmm. Interesting. Man, he is so lucky that Amelia is such a sweetheart. Because I'm just, it's just they really don't know each other. So, he knows her. She doesn't really know him. Oh, great. Fantastic. Man, this life is really not going great for him so far. I will say, I guess I'll talk about it later. I don't have time. I guess. I suppose. If that's how you want to view it. The father. Wow, he's so cool. Great. I You aren't close to each other. Yeah. He's certainly acting like it. I guess what I was gonna say is like him acting so overly friendly with them already. Maybe I've been a little bit too harsh on it. I don't think it would really be that weird. If anything, it would just make him seem like a likable, sociable person. Oh God. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Aw. Fantastic. Perfect for him. Mm-hmm. Yet again, I wonder if he can have a better impression on Rosewall. I wonder if I'm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would just make you seem even more suspicious. Mm-hmm. I wonder if I'm overthinking it from that one scene of Rosewall saying that, but I really don't feel like I am. He literally made that gesture of they're gonna kill Subaru. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It just feels like it would be really preempted that we know about it so much earlier than Subaru has figured it out. Ooh, sure. That's different. Yeah, that that one is a little bit yawn worthy, not gonna lie. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, he's not gonna be able to form a relationship with, especially with like Rim, right? With the way that she views hierarchies and her place in society. Um, he's not gonna be able to form a close bond with them at all. Oh, the chains, yeah. Oh god, he's just making himself seem so suspicious, like he's wandering around. Oh my god, this is not gonna work out. This is not gonna work out at all. Also, oh man, the fact that he called that misleading, you know, because it's so against him to think to even entertain the idea that it's them killing him, you know. Of course, yeah, he's not. This is not gonna work out. Hmm. Of course, I'm not saying that it wasn't Rosewall's chains, or that it was or wasn't. I don't know. That seems kind of yeah. There might be a lot. That seems like a very vague general. Hmm. A curse. Okay. Hmm. Oh, the thing she did to him. Yeah. Hmm. Interesting. I wonder if that's how the. Hmm. Do you? It seems like you just sit in the library all day. I doubt it. Hmm. Interesting. Hmm. Yeah. Maybe she was. I guess it. Yeah. I guess it makes sense. He would assume it was Amelia immediately. Hmm. Yeah. How how impossible. Great. Too averse to the truth. Not again. He is not doing a good job making himself less suspicious. Obviously, that's not his goal because he doesn't think that there, you know, that Rosewall is deciding he's suspicious and killing him. Hmm. Man, I have so much stuff I want to say about Return by Death. Ooh, okay. Just to avoid dying. He's probably made progress pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Oh, I want to write something down. I don't have time. True. True. Hmm. Oh, that's a very. Hmm. Is he just saying Oni? Because if he's just saying Oni, for one, I don't know why they would translate it as ogre, but for two, it would go along with what. Yeah, it sounds like he's just saying Oni. It would go along with what Rem said. Hmm. Hmm. Man. All right. Yeah. No kidding. Hmm. It's interesting. It's like we're getting Ram's side on the whole, you know, about Rim's behavior towards her. Hmm. Are you? I guess. Hmm. Man. Oh God, that's a question. Basks in self-sacrifice. Is that what Rem is doing? Is that what Subaru is doing? Hmm. Hmm. About the witch, huh? Okay. Yeah, didn't the entire royal family suddenly die from an illness? It seems a little bit weird. Hmm. The gods. Okay. So the dragon is above the gods. That's all right. Hmm. Man. Okay. Oh. Oh man. Hmm. I feel like Ram didn't like it either. It's huh. Very interesting. Satella. Ooh. So her name, yeah, so it really is tied to her name specifically. The Witch of Envy is just like a, hmm. Shows how serious the whole Satella thing was. We are leaving. I wonder what his plan is, though. Hmm. I can imagine several ways this could go. I don't know. I wonder if he this curse thing that we've been talking about, if he's just going to succumb to that anyway. He certainly hasn't done a good job of making himself not suspicious to Rosewall, I think. That's a great one. True. All right, off we go. I mean, so what's the plan? I mean, he wants to figure out. He thinks there's an assassin coming to like kill Amelia, right? So what's the plan? Are we just gonna? Oh, God, I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know what the plan here is. Because obviously, him just living wouldn't really do anything. If I was in his shoes, I would be really worried. I would always be so scared about relying on Return by Death for anything. But I guess he's either come to trust it more than I would, or it's just the position he's in. Okay. Are we just gonna have a lookout, I suppose? Man, the mansion is ridiculously big. Alright, sure. He stole a knife? Oh my, like, I'm just imagining that they realized he stole a knife, and just how suspicious it makes him seem. Hmm. What? Okay. That was weird. I don't know why it stopped for a second there. It's gonna mess up the time. Oh well. True. Ooh. Brody at the end, man. Yeah, that's true. You didn't really form much of a relationship with Rem at all this time. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, there's the chains, and you were the one being targeted, not Amelia, right? Wouldn't that like break his back? Yeah. Oh. Hmm. Oh. Yeah, sounds a little bit different than there's chains on Rosewall's leg. It's not a bowl. What are you gonna do? Okay, yeah. Hmm. I assume it's gonna be someone we know. We haven't seen anyone with chains like this, though. Oh no. It's one of the sisters. It's Rem. Why? No, I mean, I know why. Right? I mean, I think I know why, based off the one conversation with Rosewall. Just now that. Oh, God. Oh, no. Like Subaru. Oh, yeah. Man, that is not going to be easy for him to stomach at all. Oh, God. man, that is gonna be rough for him to deal with mentally. All right, let's talk about it in the discussion. Alrighty, let's go through the episode. So, was a good episode. Kind of, man, I don't know. I was thinking like maybe I'm wrong about the whole Rose Wall and all of that. Rosewall ordering someone to kill Subaru. I was kind of thinking like maybe I'm actually wrong, and maybe I'm putting too much stake into that one scene we saw of him basically saying to kill Subaru. But I guess I wasn't wrong, so cool. I just didn't know if we were, who cares? I don't know. I guess I wasn't wrong, so neat. Yeah, so Subaru is really in a predicament now, like emotionally, that's for sure. Like, obviously, the fact that he immediately it doesn't even enter his mind the idea that it's Rosewall or someone connected to Rosewall Rim, someone like that, killing him, right? I mean, like, it literally, he writes down after he sees the chains on Rosewall's feet, he writes down misleading about them, because like, yeah, he writes an X next to it and puts a misleading, because that's just how little he could even imagine that this is what's happening, right? And just thinking, I mean, oh man, God, I'm just imagining in his mind just how rough that would be, to just be thinking, like, rethinking everything. Just is my relationship with all of these people that I've formed 3 separate times now, was it all just fake? Did it really just mean nothing to them ever because they're just gonna kill me? Just, man, just how rough it would be on him mentally to realize that this is what's happening, Oh God, I just don't even know what to say about it. That's just, man, rough. I want to tie it into some of this stuff about the story about the blue ogre and the red ogre, because I feel like a lot of that, I was talking in the last discussion about how similar Rim and Subaru are, and I feel like a lot of that can be connected between the actions of the blue ogre, which is Rim obviously, and Subaru's actions as well, right? This whole idea of self-sacrifice. But yeah, so I mean, he talks to Betty. I feel like this is where it's kind of brought up the first time, where she says, you have a strange idea about our relationship. And it's like, it takes him a second to realize, I almost feel like, it's like, yeah, I have only met you the one time. And it's like, I said this during the reaction, during the opening, about how it would be very hard, I think, to keep viewing all of these people as real people, You would naturally just, going through the same thing over and over again, it would just make you feel like everyone around you is just fake, and that it's just, you could really go down a dark path with it, I don't know. I guess that's I bring back the Undertale comparison. I know it seems really silly to me, but I feel like that's media that a lot of people have consumed and know about, at least. And it really is a very similar situation to this, Flowey and Undertale. Subaru is Flowey, I'm telling you. He hasn't reached that point yet, but, there is the stuff Flowey says in Undertale about the point he reaches where everyone in the world to him is just fake and is an NPC. And I could imagine with this power Subaru has, he could reach that same point, He hasn't yet. He certainly hasn't yet. To him, the driving force to him at this point is the opposite of that. He wants to maintain this relationship with Amelia, with everyone around him still. So, if anything, he's at the opposite end of that, so far away that it's not even close yet. So, I don't think that's something we really have to worry about at any time, And these whole scenes, I feel like I might have been too harsh on I don't know. I don't really know what to call it, but maybe I've just been a little bit overestimating like how weird Amelia and Subaru's behavior is towards each other. Because in a way, I've been saying it's kind of weird, or that Subaru is lucky that Amelia is like this, that his extreme, him acting so immediately and extremely familiar with her, that she reacts in such a way because she's just she's a sweetheart. But I guess, in general, I feel like that's just kind of a way to be likable and sociable in the first place, right? If you treat someone like you know them and that you're tight, like he says with Betty, then I I feel like naturally people just kind of like you. I feel like that's just kind of in general. So, if anything, it's probably going to help his relationship with them in the future if we ignore the fact that it's going to have a mental and emotional toll on his mind, having to deal with the fact that he will always feel much emotionally closer to all of these people in his life than they feel to him, you know, just because he's literally experienced way more with them than they ever will with him, you know. And, you know, it's something that hasn't really been touched on yet, but it is something I feel like is worth mentioning, is how his sole motivation, I mean, in a way, to me, maybe I can't really say it is his sole motivation, but seemingly his sole motivation being just Amelia and just wanting to, you know, go on the date with her, you know, all of that stuff being seemingly his sole motivation in a lot of ways to keep going on. I mean, it's good to have a motivation in some form, but I feel like I've said very similar things like this in other stories, but it's always good to have motivation that isn't purely external from other people. You know, we haven't really reached that point. I would imagine it's something that could be touched on if Subaru continues down this path, you know. Of course, you know, maybe he's already broken out of that for the most part, right? In the first few episodes, it wasn't just because of Amelia, you know. It was he didn't want Felt and Old Man Rom to die, obviously. So, you know, maybe that's already something that isn't exactly an issue for him. And he decides to be a permanent guest, which just makes him immediately ridiculously suspicious in every way. He's wandering around looking for things. Rosewall calls him out for it. He forms no relationship, like, at all with Rosewaller Rim, unlike in the previous loops. I think it is funny, he steals a knife from the kitchen and is just looking down at the castle at sunset with the knife in his hand. I just think that's funny. I wonder, like, imagine they noticed he stole the knife and it's like, oh, the guy that we're suspicious of being working for an alternate political force stole a knife. You know, I just think that's funny. He really doesn't, obviously, he doesn't do a good job of seeming that he's not suspicious, but that's not his goal, because that's not even on his mind. But, you know, I just think it's funny that that happens. And so we bring up this stuff about a curse, which, like, again, maybe I'm just overthinking it, maybe I'm just dumb. I'm still suspicious of return by death as a concept, and like, not that I'm suspicious of it as a concept, but I guess I'm not as immediately accepting of its mechanics, I guess, as Subaru seems to be in a way. Like, I'm still thinking, you know, there's this whole idea of a curse that's killing him. Are we sure it's not just some kind of, like, time limit that, like, to me it seems like Subaru could have been granted this power in a way to get some certain outcome that whatever it is that granted him the power wants him to do, right? And the only reason I think that is because, like, you know, he had one respawn point before. That respawn point was updated after he made it through the loot house stuff, after he saved Amelia, he prevented Amelia from dying, she got her pendant thing back, all of that. And then his respawn point is updated, and now it's here, right? So I'm just thinking, what if there's some kind of, like, time limit on it, right? What if there's something he has to do that, you know, whoever has granted him this power, this return by death power, wants him to do, needs him to go through with, similar to saving Amelia in the loot house. And him dying to this curse is him running out of time. And it's like, okay, he has failed at succeeding at whatever he needs to do to update to his next respawn point. And because of that, he just dies, right? I don't know if that's what's going on. I could just imagine that's something that is happening. Because I don't know how else he would be cursed by a shaman. But to be fair, as a counterpoint to this whole idea, it doesn't seem like he's really showing any signs of weakness from dying to a curse at this point. I guess it is still before sunset even, so it doesn't seem like it's as late in the day as it was the first times that he just died. So I don't know, I guess it's just something to keep in mind. I mean, it's kind of in the realm of wild speculation. It's like, so I think it's more likely than not that I'm completely wrong about it, but just something to think about, I guess. Um, and then we get to this whole idea of this story he tells Ram, which for one, I have to point it out because I feel like I can't resist it. I think it is kind of a little bit silly. I don't want to say silly. It sure is a coincidence that he tells her this story that I perfectly mirrors her and Rim's relationship in every way, and is obviously very relevant to them as characters. Now, I guess it's possible Subaru is like a genius and like realizes that, and that's why he's telling them this story. I don't think that's it. I think it's just feels a little bit plot contrived, but I can accept it just fine. I just think I can't help but point it out that he just happens to tell them this story that is perfectly relevant to them as characters, right? But yeah, we get the story about the red ogre and the blue ogre. For one, it sounds like to me he's just saying Oni, so I don't know why they would translate it as ogre instead of demon when we had the stuff about demon stuff from Rim in the previous episode, in the previous stuff. So I don't know. I don't know why they would do that if he is just saying Oni. That's what it sounds like he's saying to me. But yeah, it's interesting. It really is. I mean, it's just Rim and Ram's relationship, right? I mean, it seems like Rim really is giving everything, basking in self-sacrifice, maybe, like Ram says. At least that's how Ram. I don't know if I should say Ram or Ram. At least that's how she interprets it. It seems. That's how she interprets Rim's behavior: is basking in self-sacrifice, and really just giving everything to Ram, right? It's just very interesting because we get a lot of how about how Ram views the situation with Rim's behavior towards her, right? She certainly, it seems like she certainly isn't reveling in it that she has her sister treating her this way. It seems like she doesn't like it, if anything, I imagine, right? It seems it's quite unnatural, right? It's something made it come about, some kind of event, I assume. Rim has this giant inferiority complex, like in general, but also seemingly towards Ram specifically, right? And yeah, I mean, that's what the blue ogre does. Gives everything to the red ogre. Yeah, and I assume in Rim's position that she's definitely feels guilty about Rim's behavior towards her, Yeah, we don't have any backstory or anything, so I don't know what has led them to this position. Especially because, I brought up the fact that Rim's position in society being a maid reflects her inferiority complex, essentially, very well. And I was wondering if one preceded the other. It certainly seems, I think it's obviously a much more emotional thing that has happened between Rim and Ram in the past, more so than it somehow being, something about Rim's position in society that caused it. I mean, who knows? It could be, we'll see. We'll see, right? We will see. I feel like, I guess, you know what? We'll talk about it when I would just, yeah. And yeah, the fact Ram says, everyone is stupid in the story, all of that. Yeah, I mean, she's talking about herself as well, so yeah, it's just very nice to get Ram's thoughts on it when she, when she is the one benefiting from it, and, Subaru says he finds the blue ogre self-sacrifice very admirable, which, like, what is he doing right now, right? Like, what position is Subaru in right now, right? He is sacrificing this life for just finding out who the assassin is so we can save Amelia and everyone in the castle, right? Or the mansion, I guess. It is kind of a castle, but obviously he has returned by death. He's putting a lot of faith in that, but that really is all of his behavior and everything he's done has been quite self-sacrificial. Despite what he says here, I'm the type of guy who wants to be rewarded for my effort. It really doesn't seem like he is to me, right? In a way, he is working towards something he wants, right? Which is a relationship with Amelia, and I guess just probably even a friendship with Rim and Ram, right? I think I think the relationship he has formed with both of them throughout these past 3, I guess it's going to be 4 lives, is probably quite meaningful to him. And that's just another thing that he's going to want to maintain. So I guess in a way you can view that as the reward for his effort, but it's like we know from all of the times that he's been asked, what he wants in return for something, from Amelia, from Rosewall, he always asks for something that makes other people feel like he lacks ambition, right? That's how they always put it. So I don't know. It's very interesting that he says this, that he wants to be rewarded for his effort when, it doesn't really seem like that to me. I don't know. I guess just, you could view it just as the reward for his effort is his relationship with the people around him, because that is what he's fighting for, right? And yeah, it's just Ram obviously has a very negative view of her own behavior, I guess. I guess she could just view it as she has failed Rim in some way if she hasn't prevented Rim from acting the way she does, right? Probably feels very guilty, I imagine. I don't know, man. I just really want to know what has happened to lead them to this point, Broken off his horns and gone to them. It's like there's something... I guess, like, if we're viewing it like that, she thinks the Red Ogre should have broken off his horns and gone to the humans. It's like, I wonder if Rim feels like she's making up for something about Ram that prevents Ram from fitting in or something, maybe? Something about Ram? Because just that line, breaking off your horns and going to the humans, It makes it seem like Ram in some way hasn't done that. I don't know. It's obviously layered behind a lot of layers of metaphor and... And he wants both. Which I guess in a way it's like, her phrasing it in this way that Subaru has to pick one of them. He has to pick the Blue Ogre or the Red Ogre. It's almost like that's how their relationship is kind of set up, right? Like, Rem wants everyone to think Ram is great and awesome, and wants everyone to pick Ram, So it's like this whole idea of there being this dichotomy between them, and you have to only pick one of them, And Rem has she's basking in self-sacrifice, I suppose. And we hear some stuff about the dragon, which I don't know what to think about any of that. I don't know. I'm obviously very suspicious about the whole entire royal family dying out. And then the witch of envy, which just makes it even more clear about how serious the whole Satella thing was, right? No one even calls her Satella. They call her the Witch of Envy instead. So yeah, I don't know. And yeah, I feel like I covered most of this. He leaves. I feel like it's, yeah. That might be it. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anything else to say. I kind of covered this earlier. All my thoughts on this. I mean, obviously, it's just, yeah. I mean, God. Subaru, I mean, he's just going to not think... Oh, man. It is going to be rough. It is going to be rough on him mentally, right? Like, he's going to blame himself for everything and think he is just... God, it's just so rough, so bad that it's Rim killing him, and that he knows that now, Because obviously he's been viewing himself as on the same side as them, and just he feels like he's gonna have to prove himself. Obviously, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be really bad for him mentally, especially when it's like obviously he has a low opinion of himself already, and it's like, man, I wonder if he's just gonna try and leave. I could imagine that. I don't know, because I'm just thinking it's like, now that he knows Now that he knows after this that there is no assassin coming to kill anyone, that there is no, that it's just him. They're just killing him, right? What's he gonna do? I assume he's gonna try and prove himself in some way, but I mean, he already formed a close relationship with Rim last time in the last loop before this one. I mean, a close relationship in a way, right? And she killed him anyway. So I mean, in his mind, what's he gonna think? What's he gonna do? Just try even harder, I guess. Man, I don't know. It is gonna be rough, because it's like, if he's in this situation now where there's no assassin, he knows there's no assassin coming to kill anyone. I could just imagine the solution being for him to just leave and just give up. I hope that's not what he does. But it's like, now, unlike before, he doesn't have this motivation of, okay, I have to do all this stuff to prevent Amelia from dying, Well, I guess we will see, I guess we will see. I don't want to say more things that would just be proven wrong immediately, so I guess we'll see. I guess we will see what happens. So, yeah, I guess if you liked it, leave a comment, tell me what you guys think. Maybe subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.